Hi, Winnie. Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Pep Talk. I'm here at my parents' old house in the UP that my brother and I are clearing out and getting ready to sell. And it's very strange to be here. It's a chapter in my life that's about to close. My grandparents had this house before my parents did, and all through my childhood, visiting grandma and grandpa meant coming to this house. All through my adulthood, visiting mom and dad meant coming to this house. I did not grow up here, but it has a lot of associations with my growing up. And so I'm in a life stage now where a chapter's closing and I'm getting ready to kind of say goodbye to this space and the things that have happened in this space, the people who've come in and out of this space in my lifetime that I've known, and leave with the memories, but not being able to take all of the stuff with me. We've been clearing out old furniture, going through old pictures and letters and things like that. And it's been an emotionally challenging time, but it's really reminded me how there are seasons in life. And sometimes chapters close and we walk away from people or things or places. Every semester when I teach in the classroom, on the very last day of class after all the students have departed, I stand in the empty classroom and look around and I think about the things that have happened within those walls, the things that we've shared there, the energy and spirit that we imbued that room with, and how it was a moment in time that'll never happen again, and yet I can carry it with me and it's still valuable. And I've also been thinking about this in terms of people. People come in and out of our lives, and in a world and in a society where we move around a lot and we make changes, you might move house, you might go off to college and then graduate from college and start a job, you might change jobs. And in that process, we sometimes leave people behind that have been important to us. And we sometimes say we're going to keep in touch with those people, but then over time we get involved in other things, our interests and our attention is taken elsewhere, and we might feel badly about that. We might try to keep in touch with people and find that we don't have as much in common with them as we used to have, but we often feel a sense of guilt about leaving people and experiences behind. And when I leave this house, I'm going to be leaving people behind as well. There are a lot of, neighbors up here, people who know my parents, my dad's friend who stops by a lot. Those people will probably not be a part of my life anymore in the way that they have been. And yet I value them and they've taught me a lot. So, pondering that, I ran across a saying on social media the other day, and it really resonated with me, and I wanted to share it with you. Let me read this to you. Not everything is supposed to become something beautiful and long lasting. Sometimes people come into your life to show you what is right and what is wrong, to show you who you can be, to teach you to love yourself, to make you feel better for a little while, or to just be someone to walk with at night and spill your life to. Not everyone is going to stay forever, and we still have to keep on going and thank them for what they've given us. And this is attributed to someone named Emery Allen. And when I read this, I thought about friends I've had in the past that I've lost touch with. I've thought of coworkers that I've had in the past that maybe I clashed with, but I really learned something from the experience of working with them. I've thought about relationships, and especially romantic relationships I've had that didn't work out, and how I still hold people in my heart with fondness, but I realize that they were part of a season of my life and would not be appropriate for me to be close to at this particular season of my life, or that I wouldn't have reached this particular place in my life if I had clung on to them. And I also thought about the way I have come in and out of people's lives throughout my lifetime. One example is with my students. There have been semesters where, I've felt a very special rapport with my students. I've mentored graduate students that I felt a closeness with, and then, they move on to other things. And yes, we keep up with what's going on in each other's lives, but that day-to-day bond isn't there anymore. And that's okay, because I think we both learned something and took something of value from the relationship, and I'm really okay with being the one who perceptually stays behind when my students and graduate students move forward with their lives, because that's the way it should be. If I'm in a mentoring and nurturing role, I'm not really staying behind. I'm living my life and I am moving forward and progressing too. But I know that to the young people I work with, it may seem like they're leaving me behind, or that I'm the one who stays behind and cheers them from behind. But I think that we both progress forward in our respective lives with the value that we've learned from each other. And I especially think about this in relation to people that I was close to in the past, and there was some kind of falling out or disagreement or misunderstanding that led to our losing touch with each other, or led to our leaving each other behind. And you think, oh, I wish I could go back and make that right. I wish I could go back and make that up. But I think in the long run, we all learned something from our experience. I think of times when people have been unkind to me, or I've been unkind to other people. I can't go back and fix it. I may not even have any way of getting in touch with those people anymore, but I hope and pray and believe that those experiences shaped who we are. I know they have shaped me, and that some good can come out of everything. So, looking back at this quote, not everything is supposed to become beautiful and long lasting. Sometimes we have a season with a person, like we might be in a class or a camping trip or some kind of event or experience that is circumscribed in a particular place and time. And we might become close with somebody in that context, and we feel like we want to hold on to that person forever once we're outside of that context. And it's not always possible, and it's not always necessary. We can bless each other and bless the experience for what it has been, and move forward in our lives, taking the good with us in our hearts. We can learn from the negative stuff that happened, and just realize that throughout our lives, people are going to come in and out. And we ourselves are going to come in and out of other people's lives. And the value is in the time spent together, it's in the context and contact, and it's in what we learn from one another during that season that we spend together. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.